Have I ever told you my idea of the lonely chapter? I told you about this?
No, but I feel like I've had a few of those.
Yeah. So I learned this with Alex Hormozy last year. And the lonely chapter describes a time in which you're growing, you're changing as a person, and you're now so different that you can no longer resonate with your old set of friends, but you're not sufficiently developed that you've got the new set of friends that you're going to grow into. And this is the lonely chapter. And the problem with it is that you're always the desire to sort of regress back to where you were is always going to be there, and you're going to have uncertainty. There's not even the promise of glory or success or triumph when you get through the other side. What am I pushing toward? You're telling me that I'm not going to go out on this night out with my friends, which I've done for the last 5 years or 10 years in the town that I grew up in or went to university in or whatever. You're telling me that I'm not going to do that because I'm going to get up and I'm going to meditate or read. Who even knows if meditation works, right? Like, or you've got all of these questions in your mind, and all of your friends and all of the dynamics and the temptations pull you back toward that. It pulls you back toward the old version of life. So this lonely chapter is a period through which I think everybody needs to squeeze. Anybody that decides to go from a place they are to a place that they want to be is going to have to let go of people who can't go there with them. And this isn't a value judgment about the people that are doing the personal growth thing are better than the people that are already fine as they are and are happy leading a different sort of life. It's that if you know that there is something that you're meant to do, if you know that there's something that you're meant to change, you will have to let certain groups, friends, routines, places, activities, recreations that you do, you're going to have to let those go. And there is this, the Rocky cutscene lasts for 90 seconds in the movie, but it can last for 5 years in your life. And you have no idea whether or not it's even going to work. And that's the bit that always got to me. The bit that always got to me was I didn't even know if there was going to be any glory on the other side. It's like ordering an Uber and never knowing if it's going to arrive or not. And you think, well, I'm just stood here doing the thing, but I don't know if it's going to come out on the other side. And I can promise you, anybody that has done anything, moved from any place they were to any place that they want to be, has gone through this lonely chapter. And I think about personal growth like the velocity of a rocket that's taking off. So you've got people moving, and as you start to take off, you can begin to move a little bit more quickly. And as you start to pull away from people, there's a tension between the two of you, because sometimes your behavior, especially if it's positive and you're moving yourself in a more developed direction, can throw into harsh contrast the behavior of the people who maybe aren't doing that. And then you start to sort of become friends with someone that's above you. And then the worst, or one of the really difficult sensations, is if you then do that and you go past somebody who previously you were with, and there's this sort of sense, well, I'm on the journey too, but maybe I'm not moving in the same kind of way that you are. And I came up with this idea of personal growth guilt, like survivor guilt. Somebody comes back from war and they were sat in the back of the Humvee, and the piece of shrapnel that was supposed to kill them and killed all of their buddies hit the engine block, and they come back and they feel like they should still be back there, but they're not. And it's almost the same with the personal growth stuff, that I feel like I'm almost sort of betraying this older version of me, this past version of my life, that I should be there. And there's this scene in The Matrix that Alex talks about where Neo doesn't know if he wants to move forward. He doesn't know if he wants to take the journey that he's called to. And he opens the door, and Trinity says, "You've already been down that road, Neo. You know where it takes you, and you know that's not where you want to go back to." And I think about that. I think about that a lot, that lonely chapter. And for me, it lasted for a good amount of time, transitioning from being, a guy in his 20s that does the reality TV thing, does the party boy thing, and then goes, okay, I decide to stop drinking, which 10 years ago was revolutionary, especially as a club promoter. It's now very common to do low and no, but pretty different back then. And all of the incentives were for me to go back to partying. Well, why are you doing that? Oh, you're going to be boring on a night out. I realized that if you need to drink to be around your friends, you don't have friends, you have drinking partners. Yeah. And that if the only way that you can bear to be around your friends is to drink, then you really need to find yourself a better social network. And all of the things, I used to leave the front door of a nightclub, and I would sit and I would wedge my phone into the top of the steering wheel. So I have, a party with 1,500 people there. It's my party, my company, right? And I would leave to go watch Alain de Botton School of Life philosophy videos. And it was evident that I just had this odd sort of discordance in my mind. I was being ripped away from where I was to where I am. And I think, the Lonely Chapter is one of the most important insights that has come out of the show over the last 18 months, because it's reassuring to, I think, a huge portion of podcast listeners. Why is it that people resonate and have this parasocial relationship with some bloke that's on the other side of the planet? And I think it's because, well, they're struggling to resonate with any of the blokes that or girls that are around them where they live. And, you end up finding solace in this person that speaks to you because you struggle to find solace sort of personally. So yeah, the overarching lesson is just keep going. The Lonely Chapter is a feature, not a bug, of personal growth. It's the cost of doing business if you want to develop yourself.